Hey folks, welcome back to the part two of the remove and replace the lower control arms on the W124. There's the one I just took off, or I took it off a couple days ago. And yeah, I had kind of a fail there. So today should be a little bit of redemption, and this is probably going to take place over a couple days. But let me show you what I got. Yeah, so there's the old control arm, and using my special tool I was able to get the ball joint on there. I just kind of did that just because, and I still have an extra set here, so if I do find somebody that has the tool I can always do that. But basically I ruined one set. But anyways, here's what I ordered. I got this from FCP Euro, and so it's already got the bushings pressed in for you and everything's ready to go. It comes with the hardware here, so it's got the extra nuts for the, I think it's for the sway bar links. Oh yeah, there's just a plastic cover over the threading. So it's got the extra bolt for that. It's got the extra bolts for those extra long ones that go through the bushings here. And then it's got the extra bolt for the ball joint that goes through right through here, basically by the steering knuckle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. There's the one for the right side. Haven't opened that yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and just mount it in there. And for this bolt, when you get it in there, basically the side with the Mercedes goes on the inside of both pieces. So here and over here, and then you don't want to tighten this up until the car's on the ground. So I'm gonna get it just on there and get the bolt on, of course, but I'm not gonna tighten it up until the whole job is done, and then I get onto a ramp or something like that. And yeah, I'll have to get the steering knuckle put onto the ball joint and then get that heat shield or the dust shield cleaned up too. So bent it back to where it's supposed to go. All right, at this point I got both of those on there. I didn't tighten it up way too much. Just wanted to make sure that there's enough thread on there for it to stay. Ball joint, I've got to take off that protective cover. And now it's just time to set the steering knuckle right on top of that. So basically it's going to be this part here with the split in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The reinstallation is super duper easy. So yeah, I got that sway bar bushing on, no problem. I already dropped the steering knuckle on top of the ball joint. That went on like butter, no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and put that threaded bolt through here, and yeah, then start looking at putting the strut back on. I'm going to go ahead and put this rotor back to where it needs to be. So just spin it around till you find the hole for the 5mm. All right, so I'm just getting the strut attached again here. Got it up on top, already hooked, and then yeah, I just kind of loosely put a screwdriver through this part, and now there's two pieces here, and you just have to kind of get this position so that it goes, and you can see a locating pin pop through. That's on the steering knuckle. It popped through the strut. So now I can put these 19mm back in. And so now that I got this far, I'm gonna go ahead and check the torques and torque up all three on the strut, the one above the ball joint, and then the sway bar bushings too. Everything's tightened down. It's not at the final torque spec, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And so I had to look it up. So this is 20 Newton meters. Here on the strut, the top is 75 Newton meters, and then down below it's 100. And the top here, that's going to be 60. And where the ball joint goes, where that's going through the steering knuckle. Almost impossible to see, but anyways, that one's 125. Now I'm just sitting down with the spring. I got everything lined up with my marks. And so, yeah, just starting to compress this. I'm gonna get it nice and compressed and then drop it back in here. And at that point, I can go ahead and tighten up the strut at the top and all of that. So this is getting pretty close. And basically the other side is gonna be real similar, except I won't have to do all the stuff with trying to take the bushings out, because I already have the assembly. So the assembly, that's the way to go. If you have the tools, you can probably get some higher quality parts, get some actual German made parts and press them in there. But I definitely just don't have that tool. I looked it up and it's about $900. So it's hard to find those things used too. So I'm happy with this. And actually I got a second set of the control arms in too, because I wanted to make sure it was here in time for the weekend. And so I'm just gonna keep those in my parts shed in case I need to do this job in the future. Then I have another set. So this is definitely not too bad. This is not too bad of a job to do yourself. Okay, I think that'll do it. So got it there, got it lined up right here where it goes. And yeah, I had to push the control arm down. So, you know, I had that just kind of the nut around the top just to keep it in place, because I'm working on this over a couple days. So I undid that so that it was completely loose. I had to push this down, then I can get the spring in there, turn it, get it lined up. So now I'm just gonna start loosening it, and then we should be back in business here, and then clean up this rotor with some brake clean. Okay, got the left side on, no problem, and got the right spring off already. And so just going to make a note here to self. This is where I got my plates at. So right above the first spring. And here, so I basically got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 springs in there. Got them marked. So gonna go ahead and uncompress this and set it aside. I'll give it a clean tomorrow. So on the right side, I got the control arm out. Pretty much no drama. So loosening up the 5mm on the rotor definitely made it come out real easy. At that point, you can kind of pry it and it will come off. And then over here, yeah, just look how bad this is. So this is gonna ride so much better once the new ones are in. The control arm bushings aren't as bad as the other side. The other side was a lot worse because the steering gearbox was leaking all over it. So yeah, I'm just gonna toss this right in the trash. Got the new part right there. I'm gonna put that in there after taking a break. And yeah, there's a lot of coming soon projects. You can see here, I got the tie rods, the boot on this side. It's not that bad, but the other side, it's tore up. The drag link, the idler arm bushing. I'm gonna do that too, I believe. We'll see. Yeah, but basically, when this stuff is all done today, I'm gonna drop the car to the ground, then I'll tighten up all the bolts there. I'll tighten up the strut mount bolts too, because the wheels will be on the ground and it's got gravity going for it, so that's when you wanna tighten it up. But yeah, the rest of this is probably gonna be pretty boring, so I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out. And yeah, I thought I was, you know, like a tough guy getting it off last time, the control arm bushing bolt with just the ratchet. But yeah, basically this time I tried it again with just the ratchet, and I used a torch. You basically have to use impact wrenches to get it loose enough that you can turn it. I mean, I put everything into it and it wasn't even thinking about moving. So with the air tools, I think that really did a big job. That's got like 800 foot-pound of torque for braking, and that little impact I have is okay. I think, you know, might go to Home Depot and get something better today, but for next time. So something stupid that happened over here was went to go put the sway bar bushings on and torque them. Torqued the bottom one. Top one, I was going to torque it, and then the bolt just sheared. It just broke. So it's the bolt is part of the control arm, and I'm not going to just throw this control arm away and undo all the steps I did. So I got the drill out, drilled a hole through where the old stud used to be, and then I just put a bolt that I had in the shed, just 10 millimeter. So hey, now it's a little easier. It's 10 millimeter, and I'm just going to tighten this up. Bottom one's already on there, so I'll just tighten that. And I'm going to go with just like the Guten tight. It's only supposed to be 20 Newton meters, but you know, that's not very much. You can pretty much just snug it pretty hard and call it good. And that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, one last stupid thing is that I had to basically flip this bolt so that the head is on the back side. So let me kind of squish this up. Yeah, so you can see here, there's the nut. So I put the bolt on this side over here because when the bolt was sticking through, the stud was going under the shock. And I think that would hit when, you know, just regular car travel happens. So yeah, this way, there's no way it can happen. Gonna just get this on. This is the last stupid thing, and then time to drop the car down. So now I'm basically at the last part, so I'm just getting these tight. They were on there, but just kind of loose. So I've got the car up on the ramps. So let it settle. I kind of drove it around the neighborhood a little bit, went over some bumps. And yeah, now I'm just tightening these down. And I'm not going to get too crazy about it because I need to take this in for an alignment. So, you know, if you're doing this yourself, then there is something to this, you know, depending on the angle and stuff like that, that affects the different properties for the alignment. So yeah, same over here. Just getting this one tightened up, and then I'm going to go over to the back ones. And so, all right, well, I'll probably call it here and call this a success. Yeah, so thanks for joining me. Just going to wrap this up, and yeah, I'll see you next time.